I don't know if this says more about me or more about the employer. I'll let you decide. Years ago, I was employed by Walmart Stores Incorporated in a distribution center that was about 42 miles away from where I lived. And I can't remember exactly what happened to the car. It was the Saturn that you've heard about probably before. And I called them up at like 3:30 in the morning because my shift started at 4, and told them that I couldn't get there because there was a problem with the car. They were, I got written up for being tardy because I couldn't get there. They sent someone to my house to pick me up so that they wouldn't have to do the work without me. Um, they were so much more interested in having me. I was on a 12-hour shift there for 10 hours of the 12 hours. They were willing to sacrifice someone else's work. And I don't know if they paid this person to drive out and pick me up, but they drove out to pick me up and brought me into work so that I wouldn't miss a day. Um, it's a rather fascinating story that seems impossible, but and I forgot about it until today when, as I'm writing a book about my experiences working there, where I realized, oh yeah, that's right, they came out to pick me up once because they couldn't, they did not want to have to go without me for the day. I can't remember all the circumstances. It might have been we were shorthanded for other reasons. Back then, we had a couple of people who were super unreliable, where 2, 3 hours in, we weren't sure if they were going to be tardy or if they're going to be absent. And so I was usually there. In fact, did I miss any days? I don't think I missed any days. I was tardy twice that day and one other day that I had to drive in fog for 42 miles. But I was never tardy, never absent, never took a day off. And so they were willing to go to those efforts to come and get me so that they could have me on staff that day. So it's actually kind of a funny tidbit. How much does your work value you? Now, they didn't give me a raise. They didn't give me any extras. In fact, like I said, they wrote me up for being tardy. Well, of course I'm tardy. Well, it's either that or an absence. And I didn't have to drive, which was nice. And somebody took me home, too. Somebody else took me home that wasn't too far away from where I lived. Or, only like 8 miles away. So, but I had the longest commute and of anyone that worked there, at least on my shift in my department. So they came out to get me and drove me into work so that I would not miss a day. And then they wrote me up. I didn't get any special benefits or accolades or attaboys. I did not get promoted. I did not get a raise or a bonus. I got a write-up for being tardy. So it's one of the great ironic experiences in my life that I felt like sharing today because it's just a funny anecdote from a strange part of my life that most people don't know about unless you were on that shift or the supervisor or that poor person had to drive all the way out to pick me up and then go back to work. So um, interesting times, different times, very interesting experience. I learned a lot of things about life, about people, about myself. Um, wouldn't do it again. I'm glad I have other options, but it was a very illuminating experience. So look forward to the book when I finally get around to finishing it. And if you're not valued at work like that, I feel bad for you. Or if they drive out to pick you up and then write you up, I feel bad for you too. So anyway, have a beautiful day. Take care.